What's up? What's up? Welcome, everybody. My name is Dennis Spurling, Uncle D, the Blizzard King. Big shout out to Salty Balls. He said, Passport Bros here to stay. They hurting the interlock locker. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. Big shout out to him for the first contribution on the super chat. Super big major shout out to my man Grant Robertson for the $100 cash app. Cash app is still working. Thank you so much. You did all that. For being up, first one up to bat. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. We got an interesting show tonight, as you guys see. Well, let me do this. Shout out to Broken Blade. Shout out to all my guys who are here. My membership has grown exponentially. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. Big shout out to Salty Balls again. Deacon Salty Balls. Who else we got up here? The real one. Who else, man? Let me make sure. Laverne Gibbs, big shout out to you. Randy Irvin, thank you so much. Arrowhead, Broken Blade, all my wrench mob. Y'all make sure y'all hit the #1 button so I can know the wrench mob is in the house, man. Keeping the chat room copacetic. Make sure it do what it do. But either way, thank you guys for everybody. I appreciate y'all. As you saw earlier, I played a video and it kind of got lost in the mix. It was a young lady who went on something like a game show or something like that. And she said what? She said, I'm going to go find my husband overseas. And there was a response by a woman who apparently is from overseas, a woman who was of a foreign-born woman who had a response to this woman. And it was, hopefully it registered. And this lady realizes that it's not the same for a woman traveling overseas as opposed to when a man travels overseas. Reason being is because, well, number one, men and women are different. People see them differently, and they have to operate as the women do in that particular set of that social climate, and most women aren't prepared to do that. Here's the thing. I'm going to run that video real quick because I want you guys to see it, and we'll see if we can, what we can do is we'll see if we can break it down and let y'all really take a look and analyze what this lady is really trying to say in a really, really kind manner.
Of course, sis, I don't care about y'all. I'm going overseas to find my husband. I got you. I'm going overseas to find my man.
Passport bro movement is nothing for.
Now, you heard what old girl said. She said what? She said, I'm going overseas to find my man. All right. That's the wish list. Now, let's listen to what let's listen what this woman said. She seems to be Eastern European, perhaps. Let's take a listen.
Passport bro movement is nothing for women. And it's also not something where a woman can say if a man can do it.
You see that? Is nothing for a woman. Is too dangerous. A man can go overseas and get lost in the sauce. You're just another man hanging out. If a woman goes overseas, she's subjected to the authority of those men. If they want to flirt with you, there's nothing you can do about it. They want to grab you on your booty, there's nothing you can do about it unless you want to tell the law. But what do you do in a situation where, that's their custom? A big shout out to Laverne de Home. I probably butchered the name, but thank you so much. Bonjour, bonjour, Simple Shit TV. Shout out to you too, man. MC Recovery. I said I can't wait until I get a passport. I think I might cry by South Central LA. Yeah, man, you got to get up out of there, man. Let's continue. Listen, it's too dangerous. You can't do what men do, ladies.
I can do it too, because as a woman, you can't just get up and walk the streets overseas somewhere in Czechoslovakia.
You will get your ass snatched up, okay? especially you lovely African-American ladies. They're going to mistake you for an African, and you might end up in the bottom of somebody's basement somewhere, being a sex slave for the next 3 to 4 months. Hold on a minute. Keep listening.
Brazil or the Philippines, because honey, that might be your last time overseas. One of the main reasons why men are leaving their home country and go overseas to find a woman is because those women over there are a lot younger.
Yes, we're going overseas for a reason. Okay, you want to go overseas and get a husband? You don't qualify. Let's keep listening. Let's listen to this lady announce why the men are going overseas.
And the woman is because those women over there are a lot younger.
Yes.
They are raised to be wives, and they are very traditional. And trust me when I tell you,
they are younger, raised to be wives, and very traditional. In other words, you got more wife material over there, potential. In other words, here's the thing. It's not like we don't have some wives here in the United States. The problem is they're so few and far between, it's impossible to find them. And so it's like, why even waste? You know, and the good ones typically are married. And unfortunately, even the good ones are, how should I say, they are infected by the bad ones and the philosophy that these women have over here. Keep listening.
That the requirements of a traditional man are a lot more strict than a traditional woman, because that
in other words, those men are gonna put some rules down on you, and you better follow them. Keep listening.
That man is going to want his dinner on time, breakfast and lunch on time. If he doesn't like what you are,
you hear that? You're gonna have to cook, boo. There's no McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken. Okay, nobody's gonna be paying for Uber Eats. You're gonna have your butt in there cooking 3 meals a day, and don't let his parents show up. You're gonna be cooking more for them too, and you're gonna be catering to those parents and the grandparents and all the family members that show up. Y'all not ready for that work.
And you better go ahead and change. There's no more clubbing. There's no more drinking. There might not be any more social media or none of that.
You are not going to be Snapchatting, Instagramming, YouTubing any damn body, okay? At all. It's not going to happen. You're going to sit yourself down and you're going to do what you told. You understand? And a lot of women don't realize that that's how it goes overseas. These men have rules that they put down on these women, and they're not ready for that.
So it's not even like that there are not enough women in the States, and that's why men are leaving the country to go find their wife.
No, there's plenty of women in the United States. It's not like the women outnumber the men in the United States. It's the quality of the women that the men have a problem with. These women are not wife material. And that's what most Western men with good sense have determined. All right, let's keep listening.
Somewhere overseas, it's just because of some women's attitude. Y'all are so beautiful. Y'all have
attitude. All right. Now, you know what she's talking about. Y'all are so beautiful. This when she start trying to, put a little icing on top of the shit. Baby, you know these women aren't that goddamn beautiful. You know they big and they gotta come on. But let's let her try to make them feel good. Come on.
So much potential to be the perfect partner or a housewife, but the games, the attitude.
Potential is not the reality though, my love, but keep trying. Keep on doing what you're doing.
The entitlement, the rudeness, all of that. People or men get sick and tired of it. Who wants to do?
Yeah, sick and tired of it, to the point the dudes are now saying, we out. Now, that said, I'm going to take a quick commercial break. I'll be right back. What I need y'all to do is get ready. We about to take it, about to do it big over here. Y'all make sure y'all hit the #1 button. We'll be right back.
You recording? Yeah. I'm not about to heat on them.
All right, welcome back to the broadcast, man. Hit the #1 button. So here's the thing, man. These lovely ladies, these westernized women, saying that they're about to start traveling overseas to find foreign men. Let me tell you something. They'll be better off flying to another state, because that's all about, and that's about it. Men overseas don't play. They want traditional women, and they don't want women who they don't want any of these Western women who are out here clubbing and thugging it out and fighting it out in the street. Big shout out to Hassan King Dennis. Most countries, black women will go look for men. The currency exchange work out in their favor. They look down on the average earners in America and imagine in other countries. I already know. I'm about to hit you up with that. You jumping ahead of the dissertation here, brother. But thank you so much, Hassan King. I appreciate that. We on the same page. Look, you better know how to cook, and most of you ladies don't know how to cook. You can't even fry water. Okay, you don't even know how to get air hot. You know what I'm saying? What I mean, other than the hot air that's coming out your mouth. And if you would listen to honest men like myself, who are unafraid to tell you the truth. If you would have listened to the late great Kevin Samuels, who was unafraid to tell you the truth, y'all would be married. But I'm not here to do that. I'm not trying to take a spot. Matter of fact, I'm cool with watching you fall out in the street, and it don't matter to me. But see, here's the thing. You won't. You see? You won't listen. On top of that, if you did listen, you wouldn't have the attitude. You wouldn't have all that fake stuff you have on. You know how to cook. You'd be good with kids. You know how to clean a house. You know how to keep peace in the house. You put family over everything, and you wouldn't be materialistic. And the most important thing, your sole criteria for what a good man is wouldn't be how much money he makes. And that's one of your major problems. But here's your problem, ladies. The panda bears. The panda bears got you thinking a man should just take your sorry butt as you are and be thankful. And that's not how the real world works. Passport sisters or passport bras, it can't be a thing. And I'm just telling you, it's not possible for passport broads to be a thing. Number one, you Western women, you're too lazy. You too lazy to drive to the next town to meet up, right? You wearing cumbrellas on your eyelashes. It's 2 pounds. You got 2 pounds of makeup on. You got fake hair. You got BBL bodies. Again, you can't cook. And that's a major thing. And nobody, let me tell you this, nobody wants a masculine, loudmouth, self-entitled boss chick in their household. You see? So what I want you to do is, if you do decide, when you do decide to go overseas, when you do get your coins together and you do decide to go overseas, make sure when you go to find your husband, you leave your fake lashes and your fake hair and your fake nails here. Okay. Most men overseas and everywhere else find that to be a turnoff. And see, the problem is, ladies, you're always trying to do what men do. Okay. Men overseas see the shit that we deal with here in the United States, and they don't want you. And let me tell you something else that you would be a rude awakening for many of you ladies. You have laws here in the United States that actually protect women, physically protect you. Okay. And women don't realize that America is the best place for you to be. Once you start going overseas, things change rapidly. Men are escaping because it's horrible. This is a horrible place for men to be. This is a terrible place. There was an article that came out on March 1st, 2023, and it highlighted the fact that there's some new data from the Pew Research Center that shows that 63% of men under the age of 30 are single. Now in 2019, it was 51%. So here we are, only 4 years later, and it's jumped 12 points. I just put the link to that article in the chat room because I know y'all don't believe me. But that's it. So yeah, the men are single, but they're not mingling. That's the problem. They don't want you. And let me tell you something, ladies. You are not competition for women elsewhere. Oftentimes, they look better and they know how to act better. And what you also don't know is that men in different countries, they're not going for your bad behavior. Big shout out to Black Man Swimming. Just checking in. Appreciate you. Again, you got laws protecting you here in the United States. If you try some of the mess over there that you try here, you're going to really quickly find out how gracious American men have been. Because, see, most of those foreign men are not going to be that gracious. They're going to beat the dog shit out of you, or worse. You think you're going to run up on that man and talk bad about him and pop off in his face and put your finger in his face and disrespect him and call him out his name? It's not going to happen. You'll be in a ditch somewhere. And see, you modern American women are so arrogant. You think that you can just do what you do anywhere on this earth, but that's not how the world works. If American men, who are some of the most egalitarian and tolerant men on the planet, if we can't put up with you, if we can't put up with your BS, you have absolutely no chance of convincing these men from these traditional cultures to put up with you. It's not going to happen. The only thing y'all going to be good for are green cards. And see, here's the other thing. Here's how I know that the whole passport cis thing is not going to happen. See, if you were really pressed, if it was really that bad for you lovely ladies here in the United States, you'd have been gone. So you wouldn't have waited until the passport bro movement really kicked off. You would have been gone a long time ago. Just like, well, let me say it like this, and you would have left without telling everybody, just like when you took your asses down there to Jamaica, where you've been getting your backs blown out for the last 30 years, coming back with bastard children and STDs. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Now, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the channel.
Why are y'all getting on this damn app and making yourselves look pathetic? Why are you getting on this app making videos telling these men why they shouldn't go because they'll be used and who cares? Let them go. Let them go. Like, these aren't even the men you want to be with in the first place. Like, trust me, I know these men are annoying. Okay, I know that. But you know what? They have a right to find the type of wife they want. They have that right. They have the right to go to another country to find a wife they want. Okay? Stop making videos. Okay? And not only that, y'all are simultaneously shaming these women in other countries. Why? Why are you making assumptions about these women in other countries? Why do y'all care? If anything, I'm more worried about the women having to deal with the men from here than I am about the men having to deal with the women from other countries. You know what I mean? Like, I'm more worried about the women. That's what I'm worried about. But these women are also grown and they know what they want and what they don't want. If they want a traditional life with a man and they want a man to lead the family, then more power to them. More power to them. Okay.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Welcome back. Big shout out to everybody who contributed to the super chat. Big shout out to my man, Mr. Darkest, the navigator. He said the foreign men don't even come here to marry them. They showed on. They come here to work and send their money home. Big shout out to Cerebral Inquirer, JM Ken Barracuda. They better leave Jamaica alone, praise God. Hallelujah. They better leave Jah Rastafari. They better leave the rude boy and the yard man alone, man. They keep coming down there, messing up, moshing up the island. Anyway, man, let's get back to this conversation that we having because, you know, it's the truth. And see, the thing is, I'm not a panderer. I'm not going to lie to these women. See, a lot of men will get on the internet. They got thousands of women following them because those women tune in on a regular basis to hear these men assuage their egos. What do I mean by that? If you can make millions of dollars if you lie to women. Steve Harvey has proved that. Millions and millions of dollars. Derek Jackson has proved that. And you got simps and panderers all throughout the internet. Look at their following. They might have 100, 200, 300,000 followers. But when you do the numbers, it's mostly women. When you look at the comments, it's mostly women. Now, juxtapose that to what you have here. We got about 60,000 followers, coming up on 60,000 followers. All men, 98% men, because men gravitate to the truth. Men want to hear the truth, not those lies. You guys come here because you want to hear truth. Women go to people because they want to hear those lies to make them feel better. That's the difference between me and them. That's the difference between content creators like myself and them. Because I speak the truth, I have longevity. And because I stay the course, even though I'm willing to change when I learn new information, because I stay the course, you guys are like, yeah, we're going to roll with Uncle D. So either way, let's do this. And man, Mac Man said queens with no rings. Bosses with no employees. Did y'all hear that though? 63% of men under the age of 30 are not even looking to date. 63%. That's over 2/3 of the what should be the most eligible, hardest working group under 30. Right? If you wanted to go on a date, that's who you need to go with because everybody older than that they're not even looking for a date. What does that tell you? It tells you that these men find these women detestable and they're looking for better options. They rather play video games and watch porn and rub one off than deal with you women. But either way, the thing ladies need to understand is this, right? Men are expecting more from women when you leave the Western society. And Western women have less to offer, okay? Unless you're going to the UK, you aren't going to get the type of men overseas that would be equal or equivalent to the men that we have here. What am I saying? Let's talk about it, all right? And the thing is, fellas, the way this conversation came up, because you got these passport broads thinking they can do what the passport bros do. And most women know how unrealistic it is anyway. You can't show me a herd of American women who are going overseas finding traditional men to marry, right? Yeah, you might. I don't mean two or three women that you see on TV. Okay, I'm talking about hundreds and thousands of American women loading up in planes, finding top quality men overseas that are dying to marry these women. I can show you flights going that 12 o'clock flight on American Airlines down to Puerto Plata, 7 days a week. It's loaded up with brothers. Okay, it's loaded up with brothers each and every time. That Colombia flight, that Brazilian flight out of Miami, that all-night flight that leaves at 12:01, that'll drop you off in Rio de Janeiro 5 or 6 hours later, filled up with black men. Same thing with that Houston flight going down to Medellin or going down to Colombia, filled up with brothers. Okay, you're not going to find that. You're not going to find flights full of women, especially our lovely ladies. It's not available for them. But anyway, Deacon Salty Ball said the scroll of asylums too. The men's feet were sharded by the fertile soil of foreign lands. They were given asylum in the bosom of virtuous brides, whereas thine she-heathens were condemned into the asylums of their madness and death. Praise Moses. Thank you so much, Deacon. Thank you. Yeah, that's basically it. They don't want you like that, right? And these foreign men are not dying to marry these big, wide-back American women. And see, here's the thing. There's a reason why the average American man is treated like a king overseas. And I want y'all to hear me this. Hear this, right? Hear this, hear ye. The women value more than just money overseas. Money's great to have, but most people overseas don't have money like that. So their men over there have other traits, more traditional traits that women look for. Provider is not necessarily rich. Provider is what it says, provider. Okay? These men have traditional qualities that women like, that women have become accustomed to having. This is a good man, hardworking, dedicated to his family, respectful. These are the things that women look for. You see? These men don't have the amount of money that American men have. They don't have the resources that American men have. If you think, ladies, you're going to go to Brazil and find a Brazilian man who will marry you, and especially you Black American women, this is the highest, richest group of Africans on the planet right here in the United States. And if you go places like Brazil, most of the men who are of African descent are in a lower class. And I'm not just talking about socially, I'm talking about economically. They might make $6,000 a year, and that's great. So if you think you're going to go to Brazil and find a Black man who makes $400,000 a year and fits your disproportionate, ridiculous American standards, that's crazy. It's not going to happen. You're going to have a rude awakening, because first of all, that man has got the whole country full of beautiful Brazilian women that want him. And then you're a foreign woman, and you got to compete with the Brazilian women, and that's just not going to happen. Especially considering you don't have those traditional traits, the cooking, the cleaning, the respectfulness, the family-oriented sort of understanding of how to put the family first. It's not going to happen. If you ladies had to go, you'd be homeless in a week. See, ladies, you got it twisted. And I'm going to say this, and I'm a financially successful man. I've been able to do well for myself, praise God. Not where I want to be, but I ain't where I started either, okay? But the thing I'm going to tell you is that the measure of a man is not the size of his bank account. Let me say that again. The measure of a man is not the size of his bank account. Big shout out to Be About Peace and Pleasure. He said, Uncle D, just let them live out their fantasy, Unc. They want to ride the soul plane and the carousel is broken. Amen to that. The Brotherhood said, I work in aircraft maintenance. Brothers, get your paper. Blue collar is where it's at. You ain't lying. Those flights be packed. Several of my colleagues have their wives in those countries. Yes, they do. But I want to get back to this. I want you all to understand me. The measure of a man is not the size of his bank account. Some of our greatest stories in Western civilization, the story of Odysseus. You know, you guys know who Odysseus is, the Odyssey. He wasn't a rich man, but look at all the great things he did. He wasn't a rich man, but look at the accomplishment. They wrote an epic poem about him. The Odyssey, the Iliad and the Odyssey. Look at some of our greatest heroes. Malcolm X, he was not a rich man. Martin Luther King was not a rich man. But look what he stood for. So again, the measure of a man is not the size of his bank account. And that's something that modern Western women use. It's almost the sole thing, the sole criteria they use to determine how good of a man is or whether he qualifies. Deacon Salty Ball says the following. He says, Book of Exports 2, an assemblage of merchants, magicians, and surveyors with all their science and might, praise God, could not ascertain how this empire had become the largest exporter of ebony staffs. The unbitterness of the she-heathen alone caused an exodus. Oh my God. Big shout out to the ebony staffs. Man, somebody type export of ebony staffs in the chat room. That was funny, man. Good stuff, man. Oh my goodness. But anyway, yeah. So, you know, ladies, realistically, you measuring all these men by their bank account. I mean, that's how modern Western women measure men. Look, and how do we know? Look at your songs. Look at the things that you've said. Right? Look at what's in the pop culture. All right. Call Tyrone. You remember that? Ain't nothing going on but the rent. You remember that? What have you done for me lately? And of course, the all-time favorite, I don't want no scrubs. Right, ladies? So, you know, or here's another one that lets you know, like I've been telling you, we living in a nation full of whores with whore standards. Use what you got to get what you want. What do they mean by that? Basically, you're promoting the idea to exchange your body for what? For money. That's it. SNL Green said, you never heard the sisters talk about going to Africa. I wonder why. Yeah, them brothers going to put some restrictions down on them. They're going to have to conform. You see? See, you modern women want to be measured by the same standards of men. All right? So you've become men. You become the men that you always wanted. You think that when you go overseas, you can say, well, I got my bachelor's degree and I make $36,000 a year and I got my... That's not what men want overseas. That's great for you. But that's not what they want. They want women who can cook, who can clean, who can take care of the children, who can take care of the family, who can work with the other females in the unit, the family unit, the mothers, the grandmothers, the extended family. That's what they want. They don't want another man. You see? What do you offer a man like that when you can't, that will provide for you? Those are the things that a man that provides will want. Those are the things that the men here want. So you lovely ladies are so quick to tell us what your standards are for men. There was a young woman who was on the internet recently who says she doesn't want to date a bus driver unless he owns the bus company. And she don't know. I know some bus drivers who they make $120,000 a year. They've been at it for a long time. Great men. Some woman to swoop them up. You ladies think your degree and the money that you make, that's not transferable. You think you are men, and you think like men, and you think you think that you should measure yourself like you measure men, the quality of men, but it doesn't work like that. The truth is, ladies, and I'm gonna say this, it might hurt your feelings. A man cerebral inquired J.M. Ken Barracuda, having envy must be a hell of a drug. Poor things. Be about their peace, pleasure. 0 points. Thank you so much, Trill Tax. And Logic Hill said, being a good mother is high on the list. And you ladies are, they low on it. And I'm getting distracted a little bit, but you brought up a good point. These black men, especially, and really it's all men, they've had horrible mothers. And the last thing they want to do is curse their sons and daughters by reproducing with a woman who will be a horrible mother to their children. So not only are they looking for better wives, they're looking for better mothers. And they see how horrible Western women, specifically our lovely ladies, have become. If you have a Western woman in your life, your daughter will be twerking by 2 years old. She'll be throwing it back by 5. She'll be giving it up by 14. We don't want our daughters to be raised by women like that. Am I telling you the truth? Or am I lying, fellas? Do you want one of these Western women who are twerking it by 2, teaching your daughters to twerk it by 2, throw it back by 5, and getting pregnant by 14? Do you want a woman teaching your daughter that? Look on the internet. Men don't want that. We don't want to sire a whole new generation of whores. And the truth is, ladies, you don't have anything to offer American men. You always talk about your standards. The only thing you have to offer is that WAP and that Guac 3000. That's it. If you didn't have sex to offer, you wouldn't be able to keep a man of any caliber. Now we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come right back. Y'all make sure y'all do what you're supposed to do.
How rotten you look in the eyes of the world. You don't give a damn no more. You have lost your sense of shame. So you're no longer human beings. You've become a race of animals. I'm your brother, damn it. And I love you. But I'll be damned if I'm going to stand by and watch you destroy yourself and our people and our future with your foolishness. And we're going to put a stop to your foolishness. You're not going to misrepresent us to the world for a damn dollar from your enemy. We're not going to allow that to happen anymore. We'll snatch your behind off the stage and whip your ass.
She that's on the main line, tell her what you want. Oh, she that's on the main line, tell her what you want. She that's on the main line, tell her what you want. Call him up and tell her what you want. Oh, call him up, tell her what you want. Call him up, tell her what you want. Call him up, tell her what you want. Call him up and tell her what you want. Oh, she just said if you go, I'll go with you. Open up your mouth and I'll speak for you. Lord, if I go, tell me what to say. They won't believe in me. Oh, they won't believe in the Father. They won't believe in the Son. Oh, they won't believe in the Holy Ghost. They won't believe in me.
Welcome back to the broadcast. If you guys don't know who that gentleman was early on, that was a gentleman who inspired me to be the man that you all see today. Those of you guys who read my books understand that I first began listening to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and his teachings at around 7 years old. Didn't know who he was, couldn't quite conceptualize everything that he was saying, but I did listen. And so soon thereafter, I kept listening, and I would actually seek out his tapes, and I would seek out, back then we had something called VHS tapes. I would seek out his VHS tapes. I would look at them on my own. I would listen to them. And I learned a lot about Black history. I learned a lot about politics. I learned a lot about doing for yourself, you see. And my goal had always been to do for myself and take care of my people, which is why you guys are my number one priority. And when I talk about men, and I talk to men largely because I found that when my interactions with the brothers in the Nation of Islam, the men would focus on the men and the women would focus on the women. Nevertheless, when you had a bunch of traitorous women or a bunch of women who are out of pocket and out of line, the men would definitely step in. And this is any healthy society. The men have to step in and make sure we check all the traitors and those who would stab us in the back and undermine our well-being. Nevertheless, big shout out to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I believe he recently turned 90 years old. The man's been going strong for going on 10 decades. But either way, Black in the Day said, didn't they say KS needs to sound more like Farrakhan? I think they didn't know what they were saying. I know, right? They didn't. They really didn't know. Salty Ball said, fly on, brothers. Go on to Latin America. Let them hit you with that guacamole, Yopisoli. And JJ17, thank you so much for the super chat. The link is in the chat room. And I'm going to let you guys come in. I got some more things I want to say. I think it's important that we get this all out. And so we kind of put this to rest. You understand me? But again, let me just say it like this. In case you hadn't figured it out by now, modern Western women are trash, okay? And men overseas do not want them for anything other than sex. And considering the obesity rate amongst Western women, especially here in the United States, right? Some of y'all are at the point where you're useless to even Western men, much less foreign men for even sex. That's what's happening, okay? Now, I've been all over the world, and I've experienced women from many cultures. And the majority of Western women are the worst. The worst. They represent the worst in womanhood. And that's why you don't see a lot of these women traveling to these majority Islamic countries with their strict cultural requirements. Unless it's somewhere like Dubai and they're going over there to get shitted on for a couple $1,000 and then get robbed on the way back to the airport. That's it. Okay? Now, you Western women complain to the world about Western men. You complain to the world about the Western men, the same men who built and tamed this world that you're living in. You lovely ladies, all of y'all, white, black, whatever, you use the freedoms that men have died to provide for you, and then you turn around and mock these men. Meanwhile, you've gone to the extreme in your behavior with the so-called freedom that we provide. Walking around half naked all the time, worshiping material things, all that men created, and putting the material things before the men that made them, all the while pretending to be spiritual, giving yourself up to multiple men, sometimes at the same time. It's so bad. The 30% of men who are raising children and suspect that the children aren't theirs learn that those kids aren't theirs. And if DNA testing was mandatory, that number would skyrocket. And that's what we're dealing with. Logic here said, for the white blazer fun while throwing them snowballs and icebergs. That's what we're doing, baby. It's the Blizzard King. See, let me tell y'all else something that you need to understand. I want you to hear me. The reason why these passport broads can never be the passport bros is because the passport bros, those men who are going overseas, these are the best of us. These are the men who want relationships and can't find relationships. The passport broads, on the other hand, those are the worst of the women. These are the women throughout the whole country can't find a man. See, let me lay this down for you. If a man is willing to travel to the other side of the world to find a wife, best believe he is not broke. You see? So that's just a fallacy. See, a man who can't provide is not going to invest the time and energy and the resources of flying and going overseas to find a wife. See, it's the men that actually can't provide. What do? They just create more horror stories for the women. And those same women then come online and drag all men based on the decision they made to deal with a man who couldn't provide, and they knew he couldn't provide. And see, the passport bros, these men of all ethnicities, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, we're tired of being put in the same category, having to pay the price for the last bum that came into your life and messed it up. That's not our fault. You made that decision. We're not going, men that most women are complaining about, he's not going overseas to bring a foreign wife back to America. Why? He got all y'all here. All he trying to do is lay it down, use you as a cum dumpster, and move on. These American men want to go overseas because they want to be husbands. They want to be the best of men. They want to provide. They want traditional families. The thing is, they don't want to be taken for granted. They don't want to clean up the last man's mess. And I'm sure a lot of men who are out here who hear this message, what I'm saying. Nevertheless, you got some great guys in the bullpen. I want to go ahead and bring them on in. Welcome to the broadcast, fellas. How y'all doing this day? Welcome.
I'm good, man.
Black Samurai, Sigma Black Ronin, and I hope I say the Jean Valley. I'm not gonna even try that last name. I ain't gonna even do it.
He might be a Haitian brother.
It might be. I might stop. I say that's what y'all say.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the broadcast, family. So, Black Samurai, man, what would you like to add to the conversation?
Well, thanks for once having me on, Uncle D. And I was over there in them foreign countries on the beach.
Well, you know what? But before we get started, let me let y'all see something. I need y'all to let's lay the foundation. This is how it started.
But y'all, I'm going overseas to find my husband.
I got you.
I go overseas to find my man.
Passport bro movement is nothing for women, and it's also not something where a woman can say, if a man can do it, I can do it too. Because as a woman, you can't just get up and walk the streets overseas somewhere in Czechoslovakia, in Brazil, or the Philippines, because honey, that might be your last time overseas. One of the main reasons why men are leaving their home country and go overseas to find a woman is because those women over there are a lot younger. They are ready to be wives, and they are very traditional. And trust me when I tell you that the requirements of a traditional man are a lot more strict than a traditional woman, because that man is going to want his dinner on time, breakfast and lunch on time. If he doesn't like what girls trip,
she's right about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's right.
Okay.
No more clubbing, there's no more drinking, there might not be any more social media.
Okay, and some of these women, let's just run through some of the things that she just said. She basically said the women overseas are younger, and their traditional wives. Here's the most important thing. Men overseas, your manhood is not necessarily wrapped up into how much money you have in your bank account. That's not the only criteria that women look for. You see, because most of the men overseas aren't rich. The UK and the United States and some of the other Western guys, that's where most of the money is concentrated. So what do the other women look? They look for other criteria. And that's something we'll talk about. But here's another one I want, and here's a fact. This lady is telling you can't do it.
Or none of that. So it's not even like that there are not enough women in the States, and that's why men are leaving the country.
No, we're not leaving. There's plenty of women over here. There's more women in the United States. It's the quality. Okay?
Go find their wife somewhere overseas. It's just because of some women's attitude. Y'all are so beautiful.
Now she caking a little bit. She's trying to make them feel better. So we're going to cut it off on like that. Here's a woman that didn't heed the conversation and took her ass down to Jamaica, and let's see what happened to her.
A few friends to Jamaica. We just went to go have fun, get away, and I ended up having a little bit too much fun. I ended up having a one-night stand with somebody who worked at the resort.
You had a one-night stand with a motherfucker that worked at the fucking resort. You wouldn't have a one-night stand with a motherfucker that worked at the Comfort Inn in the United States. You go down to Jamaica, and you have a one-night stand. He done had 4 or 5 one-night stands that night, and you number 4 in line. Okay? You see what I'm saying? Let's keep listening.
And obviously didn't use protection.
See, here's another thing you got to understand. You go overseas, lady, those men will fuck you because that's what men do. See, when we go overseas, we actually got to work for it. Okay? We actually got to, if you going over there and you paying for the pussy, you still have had to work for the money. You got to work for the plane ticket. You got to do all that sort of stuff. And when you meet the woman, you got to do it. But that's some low bottom type shit. Realistically, if you're going over there for a real relationship, you're going to have to put some time in. You're going to have to earn it.
Right.
You're going to have to get the notice brought if you want a woman of substance. Look, men across the world, if you lay down in the middle of the street and bust your legs open, any man will come up and they don't even need to know your name. You see what I'm saying? They don't even know. So it's so much. It's almost like the thing is they get over there, they get loose because ain't nobody around to watch them. They don't want to. They know they won't get that hoe tag. You see what I'm saying? Because what stays in Jamaica, what goes on in Jamaica stays in Jamaica, and so you bust it wide open and make mistakes like this one, this life-changing mistake that this woman made.
Came home and ended up getting really, really sick about a week after I got home.
Now, here's a question that I have. Now, I haven't, studied the HIV virus since I was in high school and shit, but I think it take a little longer than a week to get sick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm like, did you have it? Did you bring it with you? Or did you get it when you? I don't know. I'm not questioning woman's story, but a week after you start getting sick. Damn.
And the sad thing about it is it's condoms everywhere. You could have went to the damn store on the corner and for $1 and got 2 for $1. You know what I'm saying?
But see, the thing is, bro, she could have done that, but you see these girls getting bust out on the rafts. We had this conversation 6 months ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just not the same. It's not the same. It's a different vibe. It's dangerous. Either way, look, we got all my guys up in here. Let's Alvin is up in here. Sigma Black Ronin. What else would you like to say, bro?
I have a kinfolk's father. Let's just call him Senior. 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
He worked at the Jezabels resorts in Haiti, and how he got to Canada was being a gigolo. He was a cabana boy. He's a gigolo for women from Montreal and Montego and Monaco in France, in Paris, France, and he was getting money. He was getting paid, making money, traveling around, being a gigolo for these women, and the stories he has is crazy because you know what he told me one time. One time he said, the uglier and older and uglier they are, the more money they have. And to him, it was work. It was nothing emotional. It was work. It was just work. It paid for his college. It paid for him to get to America. I mean, some of these boys, this is what they do. But I mean, I don't recommend it.
No, we established that the women are going over there and they're using these men for sex work just like some men do. Mm-hmm. And so it just lets you know the caliber of women that are going over there. Like women don't get it. There's a like, you know how double standards exist, ladies? If there are any ladies in there, double standards. We can be whores and still that doesn't affect our manhood. You can't be whores because part of your womanhood and part of how you're judged as a woman and a mother and a wife, it depends on how you conducted yourself. We have a saying amongst men, you can't turn a whore into a housewife. Because once you done bust it open for a certain number of men, you can't pair bond. You got too much information. You hadn't had too many penises inside you. You ain't got no walls. The walls of Jericho have come tumbling down. Praise God. Hallelujah. You see what I'm saying? And you ain't got no walls. It ain't no, you can't hold nothing inside you, baby. But anyway, Gene Valley T. Bro, I don't want to say the name, but Gene, how you doing?
Yes.
Broadcast. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm good, bro. I'm good, Uncle D. It's my first time actually catching up live.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm having a feedback regarding the sound, but I don't know if you can hear me.
We can hear you fine. Go ahead.
Okay. I was saying it's my first time catching up live. It's a pleasure to be here. And you can tell by my accent that
what accent do you have? I don't quite recognize it, my brother.
It's French. It's basically French.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bonjour. Okay. Go ahead, my brother. Go ahead. We are waiting for you. Hey. I'm just fucking with you. Come on, man. Let's hear what you got.
Yeah, I was listening to the show starting from the beginning. Mm-hmm. It's the only thing I would say is just the fact that most of the women who talk about I'm going to go overseas to find a husband, I guess they've never been overseas. That's one thing. Mm-hmm.
I think he has a delay. That's why he's still waiting.
Yeah, because the only thing they will find out as somebody who grew up overseas, it's a foreign man will see a woman who comes saying that she's looking for a man. They will see as a prostitute. That's the first thing.
A hooker. That's what he said, hooker. Okay. He said, when you come over there looking for a man, they're going to say, this is a hooker. How much do you cost? Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, please.
For them, it's a man who actually is looking for a woman.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So basically, they don't accept those reverse roles. Now what? Now are you from France or are you from Haiti?
And France, it's a bit different.
No, I mean, where are you from? Are you from France or are you from Haiti?
Okay. Born in Ivory Coast, which is in West Africa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, spent some time in France and then New York. I'm actually a fellow Texan.
Get the fuck out. Well, goddamn it. Welcome to the goddamn show. Shit.
Dude,
you should have said that off goddamn top. You shit. You're around here speaking with your Frenchy accent. I didn't know. Motherfucker, son, bitch. Shit. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and get Alvin Holden in this son, bitch. Alvin, welcome to the goddamn show.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm having a horrible feedback. How are you doing? It's a delay.
Go ahead, Alvin. What would you like to add?
You know, Uncle D, it makes me laugh because we keep having these conversations, and the lovely ladies fail to realize it. They're fighting biology, right? At the end of the day, they always are going to want a man to take care of them. Like how are you going to go overseas searching for a man to take care of you? You know what I'm saying? Like men, we're the hunters, right? We're not the hunters, and there's more bountiful prey. So you know what I'm saying? So it's like the logic is messed up. I feel it makes me laugh really, because the reality is that they're going to get out there and they're going to get mistreated and ignored. I saw one girl crying on TikTok talking about she couldn't get any attention, and guys were flaking on dates, you know, in Italy, and she couldn't get any of them to show up. And first of all, she was like a cool 250, maybe 260. So that was part of it. But it was like, you know, but again, you don't do anything. What makes you think that it's going to be better over there?
155 is fat in Italy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly is exactly why she kept getting stood up. But you know, I digress. But I mean, I just, you know, they keep fighting biology, and it's just not working out for them. And you know,
well, fellas, the floor is open. What makes these women think they can do what men do? Like,
because they got brainwashed. They think because in America, oh, they got all these laws passed, and they're like, oh yeah, we equal now. They think they could go, you know, overseas like passport bros, and they get a rude awakening. Like I told you, when I was in the DR on the beach, and they see, like, first of all, when they see them women over there, you know, there's some rice and beans do a body good over down there in the DR. You know what I'm saying? Like the natural, organic, you know, food regimen, they're fit down there. So, you know, I saw a few of them was at the bar drinking drinks with funny looks on their faces. So it's like, come on now, like when you go down here, you got to compete, and some of them can't.
And you know, the lifestyle is different because those women have to walk everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere they walk. Yes.
Something I learned. Do you know walking is the best way to lose weight? It's the best way to lose body fat. Right. I just found that out not lifting weights, not running sprints. That does something different to your body. Actually walking is the best way to lose body fat. That's why if you walk on a consistent basis, they got to walk to school, they got to walk to the store, they got to do this, that's why they stay fit. And so it's a trip, man. And so it's not hard for them. These women don't have, you know, these women are not going to LA Fitness in the DR. They dancing, they eating good, they walking up here and they walking down there, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But my thing is, why do these women think that because the men started a passport bro movement, going overseas, leaving the culture, that they would be able to do the same, as if they don't watch CNN and see how women are treated overseas? I've seen women get their ass towed up for disrespecting a man in Russia or China. They getting hands. That's why they catching hands. You see what I'm saying? What makes them think that they can get away with that? Are they that naive? Go ahead.
I've seen a woman get straight up spanked. I was maybe 5 years old in Port-au-Prince, and I saw a woman get literally picked up and spanked. A grown woman spanked in the middle of the street.
Yeah. Anything you can do, I can do better.
Right.
You know that's
like a child.
That's how they think, Uncle D. They really think that they can really go out there and do that thing. But again, it's surface level, right? Because, you know, once again, I keep saying it. I think women believe that being a man is just a matter of putting on pants. They look past all of the things that we do, our restraint, our stoicism, our preparedness, our structure. They look right past all of that stuff. They think it's easy. And I think that they go these other places thinking that, oh, you could just pick one up off the shelf and they're not going to be required for anything. And that's just not the case.
I agree. Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back. We got Your Excellence and Gerald Arrowhead in here. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
How wonderful Jesus promised he'll take care of me. Yes, he did. Yeah. Oh, how marvelous it is. Jesus promised he'll take care of me. Say it again, y'all. Yeah, yeah. Oh, how wonderful it is. Jesus promised he'll take care of me. All right. Say it, yeah, yeah. Oh, how marvelous it is.
Hey, can I real quick, Uncle D? Can I please? Salute to Uncle D, man. They look. You got them so upset. You got them so upset, and they can't do nothing
right now.
And they can't do nothing about it. I love it. No, I just had to say that real quick.
Oh, they mad?
Just those that like to hate, because they can't say shit. Excuse
Right.
my language, but they can't.
When
You
you
know
show
what I'm saying?
receipts, when you show receipts, they hate that. When you show your receipts,
hate it.
man.
They hate it. So salute to you. I just had to say that. Sorry.
Man, look, let me just say that was great when I did all that. I had a great time. I love being in a relationship I'm with now. It's okay to go through that. You see what I'm saying? I did that for 10, 11, 12 years. I had a great time. That's why I tell you, brothers, don't get married too soon, man. It's just greater later, man. Do you about 10 years like that when you get your money right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then say, yeah, I'm cool. I done did it all. You know what I mean? I can ease on into 50 and 60 and be like, yeah, I did it all. It ain't really too much more I need to do. You understand what I'm saying?
Man.
And so, but don't cheat yourself, man. Don't cheat yourself, because if you fall into this American dream of a white picket fence and a fat bitch you met in high school that get fatter when you get older, it just goes bad. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, Deacon Salty Boss says, scroll of the spoiled child too. Thine the she-heathen, trotted in the foreign lands with the sanctimonious crown of arrogance, neither the shield of sophistry nor the caped magical tricksters could spare the backhand of righteous vengeance. Praise God. Thank you so much.
Praise
Hey, man, the floor is open. We got my man, Mr. Allen, up in here. I know Gerald and your excellence in here. And Eric. Welcome, gentlemen. You guys came in. So we talking about, we got ladies saying, we got the passport broads are saying they can do what the passport bros do. I don't think the women can do it like I did it. I don't think they're not going to be able to rent out a villa and just have like 8 bitches in the swimming pool behind,
or rent a boat for 12 hours and just go out and just drink champagne until the sunset. Nah, they can't do that.
I don't even. It's probably not even safe for them to be out after dark in some of the places that we go.
It's a cultural thing too.
That's true. Yeah, that's the truth, because the DR, they said at certain times at night, as a woman, you got to go indoors. You know what I'm saying? You might get raped or get kidnapped. You know what I'm saying?
Don't say the R word. We'll get
great.
Yeah. But anyway, fellas, so the thing is, man, I just find it's pure arrogance for these Western women to just think that they can do that. And the whole point is this: we're the guys who are passport bros. These are the cream of the crop. These are great guys. These are men who want to be husbands. That's why they're looking for wives. They want to have traditional family. They want good mothers to raise their children. What do you say about a woman who can't find a man in her whole country? As easy it is for a woman to trap a man, all she got to do is lay down low and bust it wide open, and the men will come in like flies to shit. But anyway, the floor is open. Mr. Allen, Eric, Gerald, Arrowhead, and your excellence, you guys come on in, man. What are your thoughts?
I think she dropped the ball for like a long time. Any woman that's here, given what they're given with all of everything, they already have protection, so they can't keep saying that about us, right? So, and they're giving everything else. Like, they've been dropping the ball the whole time, and I can't keep playing hockey cleanup.
How many of you guys have traveled overseas and like stayed extensively? Like, you've been there long enough to immerse yourself in the culture. Like, give these women a little dose of how the men in some of these countries, especially the third world countries, treat those women. Alan, Samurai, whoever has some experience, tell them how these women get treated. Go ahead, please.
Well, I know. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Allen.
Forgive me. You can't, as a woman over there, start talking. Forgive me, I'm tired. I've been doing this for a minute because I gotta handle business. But you can't, as a woman over there, just start talking shit. Your son will check you. Over here, most men are afraid because their mama will check them. Over there, their little 5-year-old son, Nino, Niño with mama. No. Your son will check you and remind you of you out of order. Here, totally different. Totally different. Your mama yells, some of you dudes still get upset and fear-based response. Mama yelling. Over there, mama. If I tell Papa, you know what he gonna do. It's that simple.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Gerald Errol, you've been quiet over there, man. What would you like to add to the conversation?
First of all, salute to you, Uncle D, salute to the panel, salute to the chat.
Thank you, sir.
Dying she-heathen has sinned for a long time, and they're going to feel the wrath of the Almighty in the valley where Moses found the she-heathen scrolls to let us know, smite these motherfuckers to the 7th pit of hell.
Amen. Praise Moses.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's see. We got Eric. Eric, what would you like to add to the conversation, sir?
Yeah. First of all, salute to the chat. Salute to the brothers here on the panel, and especially you, Uncle D. You know what I'm saying, for opening up this platform.
Uncle D.
Really, what I wanted to add, for some reason, tonight's message reminded me of a conversation I had with my little sister. She's like 10 years younger than me, so she's like 23, 24. I had this conversation with her probably about a year and a half ago now, and somehow we got on the topic of men and women and stuff, and I was asking her, all right, so what is the value of a man? And she was like, oh, it's his character, his integrity, and all of this madness. She's one of these Christian feminist ladies. And I said, okay, so then if that's the case, she didn't say nothing about money. I said, what's the lowest that you would go for a man that you would consider for marriage? This young woman told me 500. I said, 500,000? She's like, yeah, that's about the lowest I go. I said, have you ever even known anybody who makes that type of money? Do you know how rare that actually is? And she's like, oh, well, I had a homegirl who dated a guy. And I said, all right, well, what industry was he in? What is his job description? She said, finance. I said, you ever seen his W-2? No. Well, how do you know he makes that money?
Right.
And then she had the gall to tell me, I was trying to tell her some advice about something sometime later. And she had the gall to tell me, this is what it was. She asked me, how do I experience her as a woman, or my opinion of her as a woman? And I said, are you sure? Like the little pop-up when you open the computer screen.
Yeah.
Are you sure you want me to tell you this? She said, yeah, come on with it.
Did she listen to Kevin Samuel? Because that's something he would tell women that go ask people. But go ahead.
So I said, well, you're kind of hard and you're a bit disagreeable sometimes. Right. And I just gave it to her. And she got so mad, she didn't even talk to me for like 2 months, bro. and we were beefing apparently on the string of this. And I was like, I'm not beefing with you. You might be beefing with me. I'm not beefing with you.
Right.
You asked me a question and I answered it. Why am I beef with you about that? And then during that conversation, she shared with me, well, I'm not fucking you. So why would I listen to any man who I'm not fucking? I don't have to consider their opinion. I said, okay. So you don't want my opinion. You also don't want my protection. You don't want my advice. And you don't want me to give a fuck about you, really, outside of the general humanity that I owe any other person. So that's where we've been since then.
And that's your sister.
My sister. We came from the same nutsack. She has a different mom.
Hey, man.
And she thinks she's so up here. I told her that's like if I would have said, all right, well, I'm only dating supermodels then. That's the only wife I'm trying to get.
And the thing is, Eric, you're her brother, and she clearly knows you're speaking from a place of love. And the idea that and most of these men are saying the same thing. I'm sure that's not the first time she's heard a man say those same things, because we all see the same thing. Here's the thing. We got a panel full of brothers from all across the United States. Some of us have been overseas. Some of us, may be from overseas. But we're all saying the same thing about women. We've never spoken. I've never met any of these men in person but we've all come to the same determination, living our own separate lives, that, you know, that these women are not fit.
Across different age groups too.
Yeah, and across different age groups. Here's the thing I want to throw out that's not often addressed. I mentioned this earlier. If you have a child, especially a girl child, by one of these modern women, she gonna be twerking it too.
Right.
She gonna be throwing it back at 5, and she might be pregnant by 14.
Yep.
A lot of reason why these men are going overseas is not just for good wives, but they want better mothers than they see you can be. And let me go ahead and lay this out here. Better mothers than they had. Let me say that again. These black men and many of these men want better mothers than they had. See, that whole notion, I want a woman like my mama, most of you guys do not want a woman like your mother. If
Hell no.
Right. If she came up in the last 40 or 50 years, if she was that generation, the baby boomer or Generation X, y'all don't want mamas like that. Y'all don't want mothers. Y'all don't want a woman like that. People don't get that. The floor is open. We got some new additions. Vintage Negro, always good to see you in here, young brother. And Issa Askari, welcome to the broadcast. Y'all make sure y'all hit the #1 button. Keep this algorithm going. Vintage Negro, brother, what would you like to add, man?
Keep it simple. They try to do what Passport Brothers do. They can't. Because Passport Bros are leaders. They're not. They still have their ways from America that they can just go over there and boss these men around. They're gonna get the S slapped out of them. The thing that they don't know, well, that they do know, but the thing they don't realize is that these men are not simp. They don't have that simp chip.
Yeah,
they're not taking, and it's not good for them. It's of course there's men over there that's gonna take them to Pound Town. That it's a woman, of course that's gonna happen. But as far as them trying to go over there and marry a man or get finances from a man, it's not gonna happen because they have that independent warrior, Xena warrior crap going on in their head, and they're not gonna take it.
And you know the thing is, like, the women are better looking overseas because oftentimes they're thinner. Like if some of these American women would just lose weight, they'd be beautiful. They'd be 10s. But you can't be a 10 and wear a size 25. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just lay that out there. Lizzo, big wide self. She would look much better if she was 135 pounds. You see what I'm saying? So when you go overseas, the men are used to looking at fit, feminine, beautiful women. So they're not gonna be simps. See, we got a beauty deficit over here, I think. I mean, there are beautiful women out here, but they usually got like 10 or 12 dudes trying to holler at them because they're a hot commodity. Because contrast them with the baby mamas, the chicks with tattoos on their necks, you know, the chicks that are overweight and obese, the chicks that got mental issues, the lick 'em low lover chicks, you know, the lesbian, you know, you gotta. It's hard to find a good woman. So when you do find a cute chick, she's so used to getting so much attention. You see them, your game, you got to have game, a Maserati. Look at some of these gold digger videos. They pull up on these fine chicks and the chick won't talk to the average dude till she see he riding around in a foreign whip. So yeah, that's another thing I want to talk about, how women here in the United States, they calibrate the goodness or the quality of a man solely by how much money he makes. And that's not the sole count for what a man is. It's not just about how much. It's some rich assholes. It's some punk ass dudes that got money that none of us would be like, I don't want to fuck with him. I don't even want to hang out with that dude. He a bitch. You see what I'm saying? And men judge that against other men. It don't matter how much money you have. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, let's get my man Issa Al Askari in here. Welcome, brother. Welcome to the broadcast. What would you like to add, sir?
Uncle D, I quit.
What you mean you quit?
I'll tell you a story quick. So I work at the gas station. Brother Alvin know this. Brothers see me there.
Okay.
This chick comes in, right? This is about a month, 2 months ago. Chick and her boyfriend comes in. get to snapping on me because the Swisher Sweets have went up from 99 cents to $1.50.
Right.
Okay. Wow. Now, check this out.
Yeah.
So they tell me, oh, you. Now, I don't want to excuse my language, but you a punk ass Muslim and F Muhammad and all of this, right?
Oh, yeah.
So tell me
Ghetto
why.
trash.
About 2 weeks later, they're sitting in the parking lot. You can look this up. I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So flipping me off, all kind of stuff, right? So I'm just looking. The next thing you know, somebody gets out the car, pumps about 4 or 5 bullets in dude's face. Ooh. Girl tries to climb over him, and she looking dead at me. You remember when you told me, am I ready to step over the dead bodies? When she looked up at me at that window, you know what I did, Uncle D?
Damn!
Cold. That's cold.
Check this out, though. That was right before the top of her head flew off.
Damn. You thought you were supposed to come out there and take a bullet for her?
I don't know what they thought.
Damn.
God
damn. I mean, you know, most of us ain't ready to step over the dead bodies, but that don't mean all of us ain't. Some of us are stand up. Exactly. Damn, let's go ahead and put the Lord in this one. Praise God. We'll be right back.
Praise Moses. Jesus cover me under the blood. Under the blood, me say me under the blood. Jesus, you can cover me under the blood. In the morning when me wake up, and the blood that Jesus me take up. And when me feel like me, I go break up. Put the blood on me face just like a makeup. In the morning when me wake up, and the blood that Jesus me take up. And when me feel like
Damn, bro, that's a rough one right there. She got a top blew off, huh?
That's the truth. So this is what I'm saying, Uncle D. If you remember the story in the Bible and also in the Quran, and this is why I said I'm ready to step over the dead bodies.
Yeah.
The stories of Sodom and Gomorrah, the story of Egypt. There's always somebody that be like, no, we gotta stay, or no.
I'm about to die. I gotta put another one. I'm sorry.
It's all right, brother.
All right.
Yeah, I'm ready to step over the dead bodies. Because it's going to fall. God hates America because of the thing.
I think it's not America that God hates sin.
Yes.
Who's the biggest sinner other than America?
Right. Let me do this. Salty Balls breaking news: cartel caught with a record-breaking 3 Lizzos of fentanyl on the ground. Authorities are still investigating the source. Shout out to Deacon Salty Balls, man. Thank you for keeping it popping up in here. But look, I don't like. I used to have like a Sunday sermon, and I invite dudes in, and we'll chop it up and talk about the Bible and the Quran. But let me say it like this: I see Passport Bros as like an exodus. When I say exodus, I mean the exodus of God's people. And I don't want to go too deep, and I don't want to offend anybody, and I don't want no comments. Leave me alone. This is me and my perception. I see the Passport Bros as an exodus of my people from a foreign land where they were captive. And I see it being led by the men because that makes sense. And there are going to be women that follow, you see, but there are also going to be, for the most part, men who go off to another land and start new families. Because again, I'm gonna tell you this, and I've been saying this for years now: the stolen people on a stolen land will never have peace. You are never gonna have peace in this country. I'm gonna tell you, no matter how many suits you put on, no matter it'll help people see you as less than a savage. I mean, you wearing a nice suit and they putting water hoses and dogs on you, you're more likely to get empathy. You look like good church folk coming home. But still, they're going to put the dogs on you. You can have a suit on and a tie and in your nice car, and the police can still pull you over and put you on the curb. It happened to me as a lawyer in 2014. I'm a full-grown man and a lawyer out in front of my law office. You're always going to be under pressure. I described this to people, a couple of weeks ago. It's like when I used to go back to South Central LA, I get off that plane. I go from that peace of mind I had in North Louisiana going to school in Grambling. And then I get off that plane and I hit Century Boulevard and I'm just tight. You see what I'm saying? Because the 90s are warring with the A-trays and the brims. And then, you know, it's just, I'm reading it writing on the wall. You see what I'm saying? So you're never going to get rid of that tight feeling until you go somewhere where you can immerse yourself in a culture that suits you. You can be surrounded by people that look like you. You understand what I'm saying? We're always going to be the man out here. We're always going to be the one left out here. Our women, the society that we live in, they use us. They like to watch us run up and down the football fields and throw baskets and buckets, and we make them laugh. They love us when we up there buck dancing, and they like to hear us sing pretty songs. But for the most part, we always going to be outsiders. And so when I see my brother saying, I'm going to get my passport and I'm going to go see what else this world has to offer, to me, it's spiritual. It's the Most High calling you away, trying to get you to separate yourself. What did he say? Come out of her, my people.
Right.
You know what all our great leaders have been telling us? Come out of her, my people. And anybody who's against them, I see them as the Muslims say, shaitan.
Right.
You see what I mean? Because that's evil. Trying to hold you here as bad as you being treated in the United States. As you see what I'm saying? Yeah. This may be a great country for somebody, but as a black man, no matter how much money you get, no matter how many you can have a white woman work in the White House, have a white car, and you still gonna get your black ass treated like a slave.
Still Jordan Neely. It doesn't matter.
Right,
you understand what I'm saying, brother? So I'm happy for the passport, bros. It's not just about, see, when I see you brothers going overseas, it's not just about you going over there to look for women. I'm happy that you get that peace of mind that comes along with immersing yourself in a culture that's more befitting. I'm happy to see you be around people that look like you, and unless you open your mouth, they won't even know that you're not from there.
You know what, Uncle D? You know what I like? When I was over there, I ain't see no Pookie and Ray Ray crap going on, man. I ain't see nobody beefing between none another, man. I ain't hear no police sirens. I ain't hear no gunshots. You know what I'm saying?
You always gonna have an element everywhere, but what I'm saying is, brother, it's different here. Yeah. You see what I mean? It's different here for black men, especially. And and I may start talking about this a little more. I just don't want to run nobody off. I don't want to offend my Muslim brothers. I don't want to offend my Christian brothers. I damn sure don't want the motherfuckers with them sticks and that purple on, because they will tear your comment section up. And Hebrew Israelites will not. They will. Don't leave my comment section alone, Hebrew Israelites. Stop that. We're not African, brother. We are. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. I'm just saying. Just if I look at the Bible and I look at that one little part, I think it's a good thing that brothers, that black men in America, especially those who are descended from those who were captured and brought here, are leaving. I think that's a good thing. And I think that's what these ladies are afraid of. I think if we really get down to it, they know that we can leave and they can't.
Right.
And the only thing that they holding on to is us. What happens to these lovely ladies once we leave? Think about that. They ain't got nothing. Go ahead.
Already happening.
Open, man.
It's already happening. I'm telling you, these girls is out here wilding, busting pews.
It's gonna be a certain class of women that's gonna be, I call them the invisible ones. It's gonna be, you know, that nobody's gonna be checking for them, nobody's gonna be looking for them. They're gonna be whining and crying, but no one's gonna be hearing them because everybody busy living their life. So
go ahead, brother. Go ahead, please, please.
I think also just is that black men have also proven that we can successfully date out already. And have a decent relationship, whereas there are no other groups of men that are marrying black women in mass. Mm-hmm. And so if they're not doing it here, they're definitely not going to do it anywhere else. And they know that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think the main thing.
Go ahead. No, please go ahead, bro. I
think the main thing is if we leave, black women are going to be the scapegoat. Black men is always the scapegoat for every damn thing. It's the United States. When we leave, they won't have a scapegoat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the black women, they're going to start going ham on black women. It's already started.
Yes, it is. I was just going to point out. Go ahead, please, brother. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean.
They already did an article. Forbes magazine, it was called the Black Brain Drain. It was a large percentage of Black professionals were already leaving. This was before the Passport Bro movement. So this was like a momentum swing, you know, when the Passport movement happened. So I'll say in the next 5 years, you're going to see, like you said, the Black woman is going to replace the Black man as the scapegoat because there's not going to be enough Black men. Mainly, I think most of them are already incarcerated. So they're going to switch that to the Black woman now. So they're going to have to clean up their image, you know.
But
can I remind you all of something that go ahead? Go ahead, please, Eric. Please go ahead.
I hear you, but it seems like all of the branding right now is surrounded around making Black women the head of the train when it comes to bringing in all of these crazy agendas that they want to. They always put a Black woman as front. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Look at Kamala Harris, even though we know she's not Black, but she looks like the part.
Listen,
so I, you know what I'm saying? I think that they blame the instant white man before they blame the Black woman. That's choppy.
Yeah, a little choppy. I believe that time is running out though, right?
They all
Lightfoot
they always hoist you up before they chop you down, Eric.
True.
See, they hoist you up before they chop you down. Let me suggest this, and I said this 3 years ago when I first got here. I saw a trend. And I saw an uptick of women going to jail. And in those group of women, the majority of them are women. The majority of them are Black women. So they are becoming the face. Remember, I said this. They are becoming the face of criminality in this country. See, social media has ushered that along. More importantly, Black women are becoming more aggressive and more masculine. And what goes along with masculinity? Violence and aggression. That's the lower half of man. You know, the higher self, the lower self. For all you people who are into the the earths and the moons and
the chakras,
and the stars, and all the 5%ers up in here. Their lower self. The lower self of the man is that beast within us that you're supposed to overcome, right? And so what happening now? These women they don't know how to conquer that. And they don't have a woman that's supposed to tame you and keep you under control. But we can't, I'm an animal and you're an animal. We just gonna be animals together. You see, and so you're gonna find that there's gonna be an uptick in Black American women being locked up. Yeah, you're gonna have your Kamala Harris's, but just like you got your Barack Obamas, you also got your Pookie and Ray Rays. You see what I mean? Is Salty Ball says scroll trivia. One Lizzo by modern conventions can be calculated by placing a calculator 1 over 0. If there's an answer in the chat, I will send our host a bonus. My God. Okay, so we got a math problem up in here. One Lizzo by modern conventions can be calculated by placing in a calculator 1 and 1 over 0. That look, fractions. If there's an answer, let's hear it. Let's hear what the answer is, and y'all can send the host a bonus. Boy, how much water can one Lizzo displace? That would be the buoyancy question. Okay, we really want it. I mean, I want this bonus. I mean, it's a buoyancy question. How dense are we talking about? How much mass are we really talking about here? But anyway, shout out to Deacon Salty Balls. Thank you so much, guys. What did we miss? What have I missed in the conversation that I didn't bring up of the passport bros versus the passport broads? If you were talking to these women, they want to look. The grass is greener for us on the other side. It is. On top of being greener, they got fruit over there. You know what they got over there on the other side over there in places like Colombia and Brazil? They got mangoes. You know what I'm saying? What else they got? They got peaches that are ripe. They got what else they got? They got all kinds of pineapples, passion fruit. They got all kinds. So not just so it's not just that the grass is greener. They got fruit over there. What do we have over here? We got neck bones, dried up ass, oranges. You know the oranges be on the floor when you get to the
I got greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, ram, hogs, moles, trolls, chicken, turkey, rabbit. You name it, all that fuck shit, bro.
Yeah, so it ain't the same, man. Let's do this, man. Let's go ahead and take one more break, and I'm gonna bring you guys back in. We're gonna keep chopping it up. Y'all hit the #1 button. Show your appreciation. Big shout out to Kevin Samuels. Please.
I want to see you win. And I put pressure on us men to understand how we did not get our masculinity training. And we've been doing our work, okay? But now it's time for you ladies to understand you're going to have to bet on us like you want us to bet on you. I talked to several men this week. I don't just get on here and talk shit. I have men I call around the world and I ask, what do you think about this concept? Level set me. Shout out to brother Dennis Spurling. Dennis, I'm not going to get, I don't want to tell people's business, but I'm going to tell you, high value men retire their women or make them come work for them. So ladies, what is it going to take for you to free yourself? Because you and I both know you're dying at these jobs. You're in a toxic.
It's facts.
Yeah, man. So what Kevin was gonna say, and he called himself was I told him I got engaged to the lady that I met in his shout out to Kevin Samuels, man. Rest in peace, brother. I got engaged to the lady that I met in his Facebook group. I said, but don't tell anybody, man, because I don't want all these weirdos in my business and whatnot. You see what I'm saying? So that's why he called himself. But man, shout out to that man. If they had listened, you know, and I look, hold on. I got attacked by a panda bear today. I want y'all to know. I just found out that I was mauled by a panda bear over on Facebook somewhere. I don't really go to Facebook too much. I go to Facebook when all y'all here. You see what I'm saying? But you know, so you know, my ankles is raw because the panda bear, you know. But if you keep listening, ladies, and if there are any ladies in the chat room, and like Eric's sister, she wanted you to pander to her and tell her what she wanted to hear. But if you keep listening to those men who will pander to you and not listening to the men who actually care about you and love you and will tell you the truth, there's nothing but doom for you. Lady, you're doomed. And I know you think that you can, your arrogance tells you, that crown of arrogance that you wear tells you that, you know, you're going to be all right and the government's going to take care of you. You can always put your vagina out there and attract some simp. There's not enough simps to go around. The simps are being reformed daily. You got 63% of men under the age of 30 who aren't even looking for a date. You understand? Much less get married. They aren't even looking for a date.
Hey, Uncle D.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I heard it was an article. Is that the record number of applications to the people getting a passport is at an all-time high?
Yeah.
That's telling.
I have the article actually here.
You know, Mr. Spurling, Uncle D, I posed this question the other day. You know, with animals, right? You know, you get coyotes. They sense that there's a lacking in food. They're like, "Oop, not that much food around. We got to move." So they move, right? You got elephants. You know, it's like, "Ooh, it's extra dry right now. You know, we're running out of water. We're gonna have to make some moves." They make some moves. I posed the question: what would it take for the lovely ladies to reverse or change course? And we were all stumped. We're like, "There's nothing that can happen that is going to change their behavior, like nothing."
Here's my suggestion, and I would tend to agree with that. Normally, it would have to be some cataclysmic event, like an earth-shattering event, or earthquake, a drought, something like that, and then they run back to the men. Here's a problem: these women have exposed themselves to the men that they would otherwise run back to, and you guys aren't having it. I don't think you guys. I probably couldn't convince 2 to 3 of you guys to get married to an American woman, especially a black woman right now. You love black women, and if I found you a fine ass African woman with a big wide booty and it was cooking and cleaning and was cooperative and submissive, or West Indian woman, you would marry a black woman. But I don't think you could deal with a Western woman, even if she was of African woman or a black woman here in the United States, because of her Western mentality. I think that's the problem, and I don't think they get it. You're not having it. You've reached a point. Say, nah, I don't care what they do. I don't want you back. A meteor could hit Cleveland right now, and we could have a dust storm, and all the women say, "Oh, I need a man," and you guys are like, "Nah, bitch, you on your own." You see what I'm saying? I think that's where we are. So even if they were to change, the men that they would run back to don't want them. That's the problem. Salty balls. Shout out to you, brother. He says, Spurling equation. 1-0. All the nation's great scholars, thinkers, and proteges, wise men assembled about the equations of aeons, or simply the Lizzos postulate. The sum of all knowledge and resources could only ascertain that today's equivalent would read error. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate the $100, man. Big shout out to Deacon Salty Balls.
Is he putting a book together?
I hope he is.
He really needs to put a book
Bro,
together.
I do need to put a book together. I'll buy that.
Deacon Salty Balls need to put a book together. Y'all go ahead and put the #1 button in the chat room. He really needs to. I hope he's taking all these quotes.
He's working on it.
Them and writing them out. XX Farrell, new member. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. My man, Khalid Garvey, welcome back to the broadcast. What would you like to add, man? Go ahead.
Man, look, I tried to get on earlier, but I heard what y'all were saying about what would make these women change.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything like my brother, he dragged me out of the house like a couple of weeks ago. So I went out and I saw this place. It was full of attractive black women, actually.
Yeah.
Most of them were in their 20s. So, and there was one older cat that came in. He was probably about 45.
Okay.
And my brother knew one of the girls, right?
Yeah.
And we were looking at him, and they both looked uncomfortable. So I'm going over. I'm looking at my brother like, do they need saving? Because it was kind of like one of those situations. He came in with the trucker hat on, the Bluetooth in his ear, and the golf shirt on, and I'm like, oh man.
So hold on a minute. So some young girls basically had an old play up in there. Was that what? Tell me what happened.
And he was buying drinks left and right. Because when I saw him come around the corner, I told my brother, I said, hey, that dude right there, he about to start buying drinks. And that's the first thing he did. So he knew, like I said, he knew one of the girls. He called her over there. And I asked her, I said, does your friend need saving? And she said, yeah, go get her, please. So I went and got her, brought her over. And, it was real respectful because I didn't want to do the old head like that. But he was killing himself. So I was just trying to cut it early.
Man, look,
so me and her,
wasn't there, that was going to be her best option, man.
Well, see, that's what I'm about to get to. Thank you. So me and her are talking, right? Yeah. I get her number. Now, come to find out, she's got a kid. You know what she told me?
What?
She said, I need to chase her.
You need a what?
I needed to chase her.
Get the fuck out of here. You need to chase her?
A baby mama? That's what she told me.
That's what
she said. Now, don't get me wrong. She was fine, but she ain't that damn fine. I don't chase any woman. I haven't chased a woman since I was in elementary on the playground. So, and I told her, I said, I'm not going to chase you. I called her about last week. She didn't answer. She called me back. I called her back. She didn't answer. I said, you know what? That's it. I ain't talked to her since.
Yeah,
because I told her I'm not doing that, and that's a baby mama now. That's who you're dealing with.
Yeah,
and she's actually attractive. There are women who aren't attractive, who have kids, and they feel the same way. There's too many ugly women, too many average women, too many women with baggage that think that they're at a certain level that they're not. And I don't know what's going to accept an act of God that can change it, because they all think that they're supposed to get that treatment.
They got a bloated view of themselves. XX Farrell, XX79, big shout out to you. He said, nope, too late. And hashtag too late. Y'all type hashtag too late in the chat room. Somebody type hashtag too late, and they ask me whether or not there's any saving to these lovely ladies. Hashtag too late. I don't think there's anything you can do. They are who they are. you know, they're literally going to have to die off, you know, and if you want to come back to the United States, and, you know, like any toxin, once something is polluted, the only way you can do is flush it out the system. It's like drinking water with toxic. You can't drink that. It make you sick. These women have been poisoned with eminism. I say eminism. Okay. They've been poisoned with eminism. They've been poisoned with the Disney princess mentality. Dashiki feminism was what my man Khalid Garvey says.
That's what it is.
And then you got too many panderers out here catering to their ego. So as long as they got one, it could be 1,000 dudes saying, "No, bitch, don't go left, go right." And that one panderer say, "Look, no, go ahead and go left." That's where those guys, because especially if that's what they want to do, and that's what happens, man. You know, that's what happens. But anyway, look, we've been here almost 2 hours, man. Big shout out to everybody who came through. I want to give a big shout out to my man Issa Al Askari. I had to he went dark for a minute, and so I let some other people in, but we got him in the bullpen. Black Samurai, Sigma Black Ronin, Alvin Holden, Gerald Arrowhead. Eric, thank you so much for that story. Very interesting, very telling. Khalid Shakur Garvey, always good to have my brother here. Gene Valley, my brother, who says they're from France, but I know where you're from. I know. Anyway, brother, I know. I'm gonna say that's too many names. I'm gonna call you Frenchie from now on, man. When you come through, man.
We're gonna catch up. We're gonna catch up.
All right, that's cool, brother. Vintage Negro. Big shout out to all the blue collar brothers. Y'all been catching too much hell for me. I don't like that. So big shout out to all the blue collar men, all my military guys, all my armed guys who served in the armed forces, retired, active. Big shout out to the plumbers, the electricians, the construction workers. We wouldn't be shit if it wasn't for you guys. You know,
literally.
That guy who runs up that telephone pole and make sure that the electricity is going. Man, we need to show much more love to our blue collar workers, especially blue collar black men. All the techs, all you guys that you got your certificates, you did what you had to do. The dudes with the orange vests on the side of the road. Much love to all of y'all. I'm always gonna show you love because I appreciate you. I know your hard work. You know, I see myself, even though I have a law degree, I'm just a common man, just like the rest of y'all. That's why I am the way I am, and that's why it's relatable. You can't sit up here and talk to no motherfucking lawyer for 2 hours without him sending you a bill, you know. But I don't see myself as bigger or better than my brothers, and that's why I keep my feet right here on the ground. God bless y'all. Love y'all, man. Ladies, don't do it. Don't do it. Hashtag don't do it. Anyway, shout out to the Passport Bros, bro. It's time for the Exodus. God bless y'all. It's Uncle D. I'm out.